Good evening, everybody. This is your BBGamer, and
And
here
Ventus of the Wind.
and welcome to another episode of the Right Gamer Opinion. Today is a little bit of a busy day since we couldn't get more episodes out, and things kind of getting a little bit
In the way of
us trying to make these episodes. So we do apologize
we're not uploading as we had promised before, but right now we're trying to adjust ourselves again.
And what do you expect? It's the holidays. The holidays is just around the corner next week. And yeah, everybody's in the festive mood. So
Okay, so in any case, now that aside, we've got news that came out for today, and it was quite a surprising one. Um, Ash Ketchum, or Satoshi, as everybody knows him from Pokemon, is not going to be the lead character of the series anymore, and he's only going to be around for 11 more episodes, from what I heard.
yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, it's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Pretty much. I mean, since around, I believe, 20.
It was around like 1998 when we first saw the very few episodes of the first season. That was a long time ago.
We were somewhere else aside from our original home, Byron.
We
I
were in
believe.
Laredo.
Yeah,
I
that's when
remember.
we first started watching the first episode of Pokemon.
The episode that I remember watching, the first one, was when Ash was facing off against the guy that was like undefeatable, about to win 100 win streak due to his sand slash.
Pretty much. I mean, that was the first episode that we were watching, but
But ever since then, we decided to go back watch the earlier episodes and go from there. And
it's quite weird that they weren't able to get all of the other episodes,
especially
the
the
first
one,
ones.
especially the so-called one that kind of had issues with
That
recording.
that's for another
Yeah.
time. But ever since we watched that, we got hooked into Pokemon, and then of course we started doing the trading cards, in which my brother has been doing for quite a long time.
Yeah,
And
and
well,
ever since then, we've been playing all the Pokemon games. From the very first ones, the red, blue, and yellow eras, all the way up to
to
the
the
current
current
ones,
to the current one. So
Scarlet and Violet.
it's been quite a interesting trip for us to be watching Ash from when he left Pallet Town and going through all the regions and all the friends and rivals he's made along the way.
Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, and now Galar.
Galar.
His last leg of the race, and then finally seeing the episode of him winning the basically the entirety of world champion. That was a huge undertaking for him.
Pretty much it labeled him as the Pokemon champion. But of course, he hasn't been labeled as Pokemon Master. From what I saw in the trailer, Gary was there, Misty and Brock were there, his old friends. So, and I believe that he's going to be going on his own personal journey to become a Pokemon Master.
As a side character, while the new season and these new characters are going to take up the reins. So it's
It,
going to be an interesting journey for to watch these two new characters.
well, it's going to be taking used to, because I believe that it is going to be a female lead this time around.
I just hope people don't have no
I hope
wrong
that they don't get
opinions.
any wrong opinions about that either, because with how society is right now, oh, it's got to be girl power and all this other stuff. And of course, I know that this is a Japanese-based anime, so I mean they're trying to give somebody else the limelight. So I believe it's a good idea for Ash to finally be
Basically, kind of like
get a
yes,
rest.
for after such a 25 years of a long journey.
Pretty much, his journey was quite long, and we saw every inch of
Of
what
what?
he was doing up until like I think actually stopped when they were over at Kalos, unfortunately, and we didn't get back into it until like around like near the end where he was in the championship where we watched him.
Facing off against Leon, and that oh wow, I mean it was a sight seeing how Ash's Pikachu was barely hanging on until he literally his Pikachu actually sees all of his old Pokemon from all over the regions that he befriended and collected, all coming together to help him get
Support him and
and
make him strong enough to take the last blow and make the last blow from what I saw.
yeah, it was basically hot. I mean, it symbolizes their bond over these years. And now Ash is a world champion. And from the 11 episodes onward, we'll finally get closure for Ash. And there are still some lingering questions that we hope to get from these episodes.
We'll find out once we see them. But aside from that, I want to say that it was an honor to see Ash grow from his humble beginnings in Kanto,
The Palette Town.
Pallet Town, from going from there and moving up into to uh,
Galar. And
Galar and making himself the champion.
yeah, I mean, who'd have thought? We just barely started off with 150, and now here we are, over 1,000 Pokemon, and
It's
Ash.
so
It's still growing. I mean, I'm not saying Pokemon may be changing a little bit, but it's still there, regardless of whether or not Ash is the main lead
yes,
now.
yes, yes. Now, okay. And now that aside, now let's go on ahead and dip into the review.
Right.
So, right now we have Final Fantasy Crisis Core
Reunion.
Rebirth. This was one of the games that we actually wanted to try to review when it come out, and we had planned to do it when it was released, but of course, stuff.
Festivities and all this other issues came up. But the thing is that we actually played Crisis Core once before,
And
and
that was on the PSP.
yeah, way back in 2008 when it came out back then. It was like a whole different thing having a PSP in your hand and playing this type of game. But now here we are a couple years later, and now it's kind of like how it is with Final Fantasy VII remake.
Pretty much, they remade the entire thing from the ground up. The graphics for the game has been highly done, and well,
Yeah, all I could say is that even for the Switch, it's good. I mean, I'm not.
it runs pretty well from it being in a Switch port, and as you can see that everything looks pretty sharp and good. It runs pretty well for a game as old as it is,
And
and I've pretty much been enjoying myself. I've been actually been hooked onto this game ever since it came out, and I haven't played anything else for a while, even though that I should. I mean,
yeah, I mean we have other games to deal with, but we usually like to buy new games that come out, dip in them, and see how long we can manage it. And yeah, this game came out like 3 days ago, and we have been playing nonstop. Even and just between you and us, you and me, and everybody else, we sometimes kind of play during our work times.
pretty much. I mean, only on times when we're on break.
Yeah,
But now, other than that, the graphics has been uplifted from the original PSP port, made sharper and much more detailed, and even in the main menu, it was redone completely.
Indeed.
It feels like how Final Fantasy
7 remake
the remake
was.
is basically, and you got items, equipment, you got materia that you actually have to equip to your person, and you only get like about 5 slots for each of the buttons. X, Y, A, B, the left,
The R
the R
buttons.
buttons, the R and the R trigger.
Basically, it's like 6 slots right here for the equipment right here, and you get like 4 for the accessories, which should
But
add up.
you have to get 2 bags in order to increase the accessories,
Which
and
are
which
basically done by.
missions, of course. And in this game, there's a bunch of missions that you got to go through. It, I mean, it's a small gripe from me having to do missions this way because the missions themselves are just small bites of these land areas that you have to go through in order to get these certain items and equipment to buff up uh, Zach, who is the main character of the story. If you guys
Don't know.
don't know about it, but you go through the missions, you get the items, and some of the materias, summons, uh, other things that are important in the game that you want to be able to get early are through the missions. And you also have to talk to people in order to get missions as well, which is could be bad because if you pass a certain chapter, you're
You
gonna
won't be
miss it.
able to. You'll be missing out, and it's going to be hard for you to even get the stuff ever again.
Yeah,
So, but the thing is that it is replayable because even the total amount of the gameplay is no more than 10 hours. But the whole mission things and all the other stuff
it could
can
drag
increase.
things aloud.
Yep.
So, I mean, and not only that, every time you talk to a person, everybody's voice acted. Compared to the PSP, you can actually
Hear the
the
voices.
voices, and they kept the original cast from the
The remake.
reunion, the
The remake.
remake for it. So it is quite something to see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, this game has it really was a good hit for us ever since it came out for the PSP. But now that we're having this right now, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and all of the detail made into it.
But as you can tell, the combat is almost similar to how Kingdom Hearts is, in a way. But it's fluid, and all I could say is that it plays almost exactly like how Final Fantasy remake. It's like, hey, you feel the blows of Zack's Buster Sword that he inherits, and the stuff that he goes through. It's a very good story if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII.
And in my part of playing the game as it is, you actually have to deal with a lot of things that these people have to go through, especially since Zach has to actually become much more of a character than he is in the beginning, and he grows quite a lot ever since uh, he gets the Buster Sword from his friend. That well, I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys got to find out for yourself. But in any case, if I would have to give the game a rating, I would probably give it a 8.5 pretty much. I'm pretty high up there because everything here is done pretty well to how Final Fantasy Reunion is. Although, as I said, the missions are still the issue for me because they could have done something a little bit more better than these small missions that you have to keep playing over and over and over and over, and it's the same areas mostly. It's not nothing too different, but the gameplay is good. The effects, everything about it is good. That's what makes me give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I agree. I mean, I like the game. I like the story. I like Zack as being portrayed as the character, and his interactions to the other characters of Final Fantasy E7. And I personally think that this game, in my opinion, I like to give it at least a 9 out of 10. It's very good. I personally like the missions because they give out good rewards and all that other stuff. But the only thing that keeps it down is, well, how should I say it? It's like how you say the similar areas of the missions, but I like how the gameplay is, the story, the characters, and how it portrays Zack's story.
Basically, if you guys are into the gameplay of Final Fantasy remake, then this is going to be a game that you guys would want to pick up.
It's a good starting point too, honestly.
Pretty much, I mean, it is a good starting point, but I mean, you could also go back and play the original Final Fantasy game ported that I think you can buy in the eShop
Yeah,
pretty cheap. So it all depends on whether or not you guys are up for playing that sort of game, playing the remake, or playing this game that was completely ported and remade for the Switch. So it all depends up to you, but uh, that's about it from what I can give.
yeah. I mean, there is one last bit of news before we end this off, but look forward to any of the other Final Fantasy games, which the it's going to be released for Switch, being called Final Fantasy Pixel Collection. From what I heard, I don't exactly know when they're going to announce it, when a release date, but it's already been confirmed that it's already being made. So you could look forward to having the very first Final Fantasy 1 through 6 in as a collection in the game.
Well, in any case, we still have quite a bit of stuff that we're going to be doing during this month, so hopefully we'll be getting more content out.
Yeah,
And I
well,
know I haven't been able to get much content out, but I'll see what I can do for my channel. But still, please view whatever I have up there and give me some comments about what I can do to improve things. Also, do the same thing for my brother's channel and like and subscribe if you guys want to see more content like this.
be sure to leave any comments on below if you could toss any ideas or whatnot to let me know how to improve the channel and our little segments. Then that's fine. But in any case, I guess that's it. I mean,
Yes. In any case, this is Ventus of the Wind.
and your BB Gamer signing out for tonight.
Later, guys.